Digital Rengende Podcast. I'm your host, a dashing rogue. And I'm not actually all alone by myself. I'm here with the disembodied voice of, well, let's just call him the Navigator. He is an AI, an AI's voice that I basically just crafted together with Robert Anton Wilson's voice. And he's going to be reading articles tonight. So he has a physical manifestation in the brain as a brain in a jar, so that'll be fun. And for those of you who want to know what that song was, that was the Metal Gear Solid 2 soundtrack of the Plant Sneaking theme, which, again, my brother has that as his, I don't know. He has that as one of his ringtones. But yeah, we're live now, and we are going to see how many people we got here. So we got 2 people on frickin' X, which is wonderful. And we have one gentleman following us on Twitter, the Twatters. Yeah, the Twatters. Yeah, Twaddalaw, we're off. So, let's talk about some stuff. Let's talk about some shit that happened this week. Because there's a lot of things that have been going on. Hey, Armored Gus, how you doing? Rogue is live lived up to his promise. Yeah, I did. Absolutely, I did. I've been very, very busy lately. And I guess that kind of like negates a lot of the accusations that are being leveled against people of a critic of a certain type of person. But we got a few things to talk about. But I really do think that it's going to be one fucking hot summer. Top off your ammo and top off your food supply, because it's going to get really, really hot soon and really, really bad. Raz0rFap. Yep. We're gonna start with that first, because that's the whole reason we're here, and we're gonna watch the whole damn thing. We're going to watch all of Raz0rFap's nonsense. Or not even nonsense. I don't want to call it that. That wouldn't be fair to him. Let's see. Okie dokie. Pull this up. Boop, boop. And nope. Again, YouTube does not like me having access to technology. Alrighty, so we're going to watch this. Sit back and we're going to watch this shit. How are we on my connection? Let's see. Being a dumb boomer yet again. Still connected. That's good. Alrighty. Here we go.
But this will be the one and only time I've ever addressed these fatuous accusations.
Which, by the way, a lot of people I've seen online have been asking, why the hell is he dressed up as Razorfist, the character, right? And usually Razorfist, the character, is in black and white. Like, that's his whole, like, shtick, right? But apparently he's, like, somewhere between, like, the borderline between fiction and fantasy. Or fact and fiction, I should say. But that's just me. I don't know.
On the subject of defamatory nonsense, particularly promulgated by the Perma Online Brigade.
Not yours truly. I've not been online enough. I mean, I'm not even on... Define permanently online. I mean, I'm on my fucking cell phone more than a white girl at work.
I tend to hold with a quote from the great John Milton. The best apology for false accusers is silence, sufferance, and honest deeds set against dishonest words.
Well said. Now, why are you bringing it up three months later? And here's the thing: the people who he's claiming that he's going to sue, right? They said their shit in their piece about 3 months ago. Why are they popping up now, right? I uploaded, which, by the way, spoilers, guys, I uploaded a video of his ex, basically. Like, I copied a video of his ex, basically being a fucking harlot, starlet. And, well, turns out I was right. She's a BPD, as you're no doubt going to learn.
But I also knew that while the accusations were libelous and shockingly simple to disprove, they were also entirely too lurid for some talent-bereft drama humping halfwits not to make the mistake of attaching their channels, reputations, and indeed...
Which, by the way, he talks way too much about people's reputations in their channels. Like, he wants to destroy their reputations. He, like, never once does he ever actually say in this video that he wants to go after them legally. Because, again, if Eve, the woman who made the accusation, who again actually seems like she has abused this kid, if she comes forward, actually he's not even a kid, he's a freaking older gentleman, but if she gets sued, that'd be awesome. But he's talking about going after the Kino Casino. Now, I don't know about you, but Kino Casino did nothing wrong. They didn't do nothing. Fat Man and Wartorski didn't do nothing wrong.
Their entire careers too, after which I would drop my reams upon reams of receipts and end their careers overnight. So I hope you fellas enjoyed the 2-week victory lap I allowed you all to have, because now karma comes to collect.
And if you don't sue them, I don't want to hear any fucking lip, because you play these fucking online games, these Gandhi games online, it's not going to work. Because, again, why didn't you sue Eve back in 2015? Why didn't you sue her back pre-pandemic? Why didn't you sue me? Why didn't you sue, Virgie, right? Like, he might have a case. He very well might have a case, but I really am wondering to myself, why is it taking forever for people to, respond to this? Why is he not responding?
And if you thought Pro Jared had receipts to prove his innocence, buckle up, bitch. Fortunately for me, I don't even really need all of that exculpatory proof to disprove the most serious of these claims, because as many of my fans have already helpfully pointed out, the available timeline already disproves them. If I were to allege that Elon Musk robbed a jewelry store on June 13th at 6 o'clock p.m., seems to me step one in establishing or annihilating that allegation would be to check the surveillance footage on June 13th at 6 o'clock on the dot.
If there is no surveillance footage, we don't get to have that discussion. The burden of proof is on the person making the claim, obviously. But here's the fucking issue. People have asked about, where's Eve? And they're not even trying to, start shit. They just ask, he blocks them. This guy is so trigger happy with that fucking block button that it literally is to the point where he looks like he has something to hide, and we all know Latinas be crazy, y'all. Truly putting the border in the borderline.
So, as internet sleuths have already deduced, due to the age and birth date of the accuser, in order for this relationship to have occurred when they say it did, I would have had to be dating this person in, or throughout, 2015. Any later than this, and the entire timeline collapses. Fortunately for me, 2015 was also significant in that it's the same year I began streaming in earnest. The name of that series is Razor Fist Arcade, and the entire thing is publicly available in a single handy playlist on my channel's front page, and has been since 2015. In fact, if you click on only the third video on that playlist, a live stream of the game Thief 4 that originally aired on March 18th, 2015, you can disprove these allegations within about 30 seconds. Because at that point in the video, a woman's voice can be heard.
Oh.
Do you ever plan on playing or reviewing the original Dark Souls?
Yeah, I've heard the original Dark Souls is a lot better than 2. Hold on, there is actually... My lady just hurt herself. There is actually a way to get...
The identity of the voice? My actual girlfriend at the time. A 26-year-old white woman with a high soprano voice, as contrasted with the lower Latina voice of the accuser. She was my earliest co-host on Razor Fist Arcade. She interacted fairly and warmly with my audience, hence why they affectionately named her Lady Fist.
Which is funny, because here's the thing. Lady Fist is also a title that was given to Eve at one point, right? Like, it's like a Robin or some shit.
Which is why I find it so unctuous that drama-humping douchebags found it necessary to write her out of existence in order to forward a false narrative about a relationship I was not in at this time. One of the worst mistakes a defamation merchant can make when inventing a lie about someone is to include a third party in the lie who can gainsay your story. In this case, my current co-host and longtime editor, Taryn Gell, was there the entire time and can confirm I was with Lady Fist not only in 2015, but for several years thereafter. We started streaming in 2015.
Yeah.
By the way, I loved like the VH1 style of fucking like text. Like it's behind the laughter, behind the music, right? VH1's behind the Razor Fist. DK says, I'm pretty sure that his live stream is the GameCube remake of Resident Evil, not theirs. There is not is remake of Resident Evil. Is there not there because he played it like rookie? Yeah, again, he's not the best. I'm not the best. Fuck, I died the first fucking time in the Resident Evil 2 remake. Like, you can watch me. I had to pay to win that shit. Thank God for fucking for Visa.
you became co-host shortly after that. So there's streams from like February and March where she's the co-host. After you became co-host, do you remember her still being in the picture?
Absolutely. You would often see her just. This would be back in your old place that she'd be in the back chilling on the bed. She'd go in and out or whatever.
Right.
But she was still there.
And she would chime in sometimes on streams.
Oh,
I seem to
absolutely.
remember.
Yeah.
Right.
Well,
So-
you would invite her to.
Right. So would you say that she was still in the picture for like only a month or two after that?
Wait, who are we talking about? Lady Fist or the fucking Latina? Because at this point, I'm of the opinion Lady Fist is just a title that you give people. It's like, are we talking about Dick Grayson or are we talking about Damian Wayne here?
That, or would you say that was like for a year or more?
Definitely a year or more. She was there for a while.
Right.
Lady Fist was a Caucasian female, very, very pale woman.
Even after Taryn Gell settled into the co-host role, Lady Fist...
Which I'll just say it right now that it doesn't sound right. Like, to me, Lady Fist is just a title that was given to Raz0rFist's girlfriend. That's what I think is going on here. I don't think that Raz0rFist, there's Lady Fist 2, The Revenge, right? And then there's Lady Fist 2, 3, Adventures Down Under. Right.
remained a fixture of arcade live streams in the years that followed, albeit only in the background. In fact, when I recorded a recreation of the Shadow radio drama entitled The Immortal Murderer, cast in the role of Margot Lane, as the credits will confirm, and your own ears will as well, was none other than Lady Fist.
No, take it easy, Commissioner. It's easy for you to sit.
I swear, this guy looks... you could totally see the frickin' Peter Cushing inspiration.
there smirking, Cranston.
He's not smirking, Commissioner.
My apologies, Miss Lane. I ought to have said leering.
That episode was uploaded on Halloween, October 31st, 2016. Over a year after every imbecilic e-drama dick holster falsely alleges I was dating the accuser. And before anyone argues, well, you're clearly keeping the relationship a secret from your public girlfriend. Okay, that almost makes sense. Until you remember that I wasn't keeping Lady Fist at all private from the accused. So why, in every defamatory screenshot, in every autism-infused e-drama video in existence, in the long litany of defamatory and false allegations, is not once...
He has very, very nice teeth. And this is coming from a guy who has been having some gum issues. And I've always had good teeth, by the way.
It claimed that I publicly dated another woman while I was supposed to be with the accuser on Raz0rFist Arcane live streams that thousands of people watched. Seems to me that would be item number 1 on the list of douchey things I've done.
It's very simple. You're in a polyamorous relationship. You're in a polycule. And no, these are the signs of our times, ladies and gentlemen. You could, if I said this shit back in like the time when his like fan fiction took place, like The Shadow, whatever, it wouldn't make any sense, right? Like Radix Verdum, I believe her name is. She's very good. Let's say documentarist on YouTube. She did a whole thing about Jack Parson, and I'd highly recommend you go subscribe to her. I have a few of her links here in the description also, talking about another story we're gonna be talking about her on coming on. But one of the things that she was going over is Jack Parson, and Jack Parson was like an actual he's like almost like a freaking shadow villain, to be honest. Guy is literally doing Aleister Crowley like occult rituals and working on rocket fuel. Guy maxed out he's literally the guy who maxed out all his skill points into explosives, and everything else is fucking just, he's an idiot. He's good with the ladies, but he's the dumb fucker, right? You can't get away with certain things that you could back then, and even maybe 10 years ago, but now polycules are like common. They're common enough that people have to take it, law enforcement has to compensate for their existence. It's not just, it's an orgy and everyone's ashamed. Now it's everyone's naked and they're not fucking ashamed. Or have no shame, for that matter. Because it's a social construct.
If even one of these accusations were accurate. There goes the timeline, there goes the accusations along with it, all after 30 seconds of research on a public playlist. 30 seconds of research that gashed JT and the...
It's, in fairness, it's not 30 seconds of research. You'd have to verify. You'd have to go through all of that crap because, again, It all falls apart if you assume that this guy is just a single. He's going after one girl at a time. He's monogamous. If he's polyamorous, and you might say, why the fuck do you think Raz0rFappining is polyamorous? Well, there's another thing, another accusation he decides to address, which again, most of the people who are talking about groomer fist, because that's what they call him, groomer fist, they're talking about the Latina. And then they find out, oh, this guy actually jerked off as well.
Drama parasites on the cringe casino couldn't be bothered to do before obliterating the last waning rivulets of their remaining credibility by committing libel and ending their own careers. And all before I've dropped a...
Look, if you're gonna sue him, sue him. Don't make videos like this. Fucking go to court and settle it off the fucking off the internet, for that matter. The people who are gonna stalk this guy, which, by the way, I mean, so much of the fucking drama that Raz0rFappining gets is a direct result of his own fucking actions. He blocks people. He blocks people for the most benign shit. You disagree with him? He blocks you. You like something he doesn't like? He blocks you. You even ask about this chick. He blocks you. People tend to think that when you run away from accusations or you don't even address them and you just block people, it sounds like you have something to hide. That's what people like myself, again, I'm just pissed off you block people. I'd love to see where this goes.
Single private receipt of which I have many, motherfucker. But I know what you're saying. I don't believe Terengel. After all, he's Razor's buddy. He's biased. Maybe he hallucinates Latinas into white chicks in his spare time. Maybe he's misremembering her sitting by his side for over 3 damn years. Why, without seeing her, in order to know she isn't the accuser, what we need is a vocal analysis.
You guys who runs the open secret Twitter account, I think Gabe Hoffman went after Raz0r with the Eve allegations, and now he's threatening to sue. Good, sue him, and while you're at it, sue fucking Eve, because Eve needs to be fucking held to account, because she's the fucking bitch who, again, he's gonna say it in this video, gaslighted and is a cluster B. Yeah, Raz0rFappining stepped on the cluster B.
And I agree. So first, let's hear Lady Fist again.
There is no way you cried when Eris died.
I so did. I even have the soundtrack on my iPod, and whenever that song plays, I tear up. I have flashbacks.
Ah, but where's the accuser? All we've heard is one side. Well, fortunately for you, I have just the thing, and I think it'll help clear up a lot more than just a vocal analysis, such as why these libelous accusations emerged at all, and who, if anyone, was actually emotionally, physically abused in that relationship.
Do you think that I cannot hurt you without the power of social media?
The accuser. I love this. And maybe there's something that I don't know. Maybe he does pull off his own defense, and he's actually capable of this. We all know who this chick is. Her name's out there. Her data's out there. I've already said her name many times. I don't need to say it again.
What? Because I promise you I can. I have a bunch of shit that'll hurt you.
Okay, nice. Another threat. Very nice.
I'm just telling you the cold hard facts. I am aware of a bunch of shit that'll hurt your feelings. So
hurting your feelings is not the same thing as threatening to shoot someone, right?
What the fuck do I need social media for if I want to hurt your feelings and make you hurt?
So that's
fucking
wow.
Latina.
So we're up to threat number 3. I guess 6.
That's
If,
not a threat.
4, 5 if we count the I will slit your throat or shoot you.
Well, first off, are these credible threats, right? Are these credible threats?
Yeah,
she's a borderline.
Talking to me condescending, and I don't like that.
I was not trying to condescend. I was trying to get off the phone and calm things down.
What part you didn't understand? Like, I want you to deactivate your Twitter. You're not allowed to stream this week, and that's gonna be the deal. Otherwise.
That's a mannerism, and that's how it is. If you've seen the fucking actual footage of what she said, that's how she talks, and that's how it is.
My dog stepped on a bee.
Indeed.
What?
You can hang up and we'll never talk again, okay?
What?
I'm making you a deal.
Took a turn, didn't it? What you've just heard was an admission to and justification of a murder threat. One that my ex, as a gun owner, actually possessed the means to carry out, might I add. On one occasion, she threatened to murder my wheelchair-bound father, my former roommate, who you all knew as Mormagill.
Let's see. I'll kill. No, let's back this up a bit.
He threatened to murder.
Okay. To make you have living when you don't fix this shit. I took again, a lot of stuff's out of context. And again, Raz0rFappining, please, for the love of God, fucking go after this bitch in court. I don't think Worski's gonna get in trouble. I really don't think he is. But I don't know. It took them serious. I took them seriously, and I did nothing wrong. I'll kill you and everyone you... Oh, wow. BPD, open up. You did everything wrong. You need to be more interesting and engage with me in good conversation. Wow. So I have this... Was he like on the shit? Was she getting shit tested? Like, I don't mean to be a dick here, but like, you did everything wrong. You need to be more interesting. Like, okay, I don't know why. What is doing right? I want to know what right is. That's what I want to know, right? And I guess this is what he says. And that's worth death threats, name calling and attacks, breakups, and saying you won't come back. Get your shit together, or
my wheelchair-bound father, my former roommate, who you all knew as Mormagill, and she even threatened to shoot and kill the dog we picked out together.
Oh, she threatened to kill the fucking dog, bitch.
They're Cicero. Now that might seem extreme, unless of course you've heard names like Jodi Arias or Amber Heard, because I learned after ending the relationship following an actual murder attempt that my ex had been diagnosed with BPD.
Okay, you're more than worth it, hubby. Okay, the fact she's calling you a hubby, that's hello, I'm a red flag. I want to be with you, and you have this work. I just need you to understand BPD. So please do tease video research. Wow, I sound like an Indian guy for a second. Oh, Bob's, Eve, Bob's. I actually think I have a picture of her, Bob's. She's a stripper after all.
And HPD, and if that sounds...
HPV? So histrionic personality disorder, which I think Raz0rFappining has personally. I wouldn't put it past him that Raz0rFappining has histrionic personality disorder. You say, why? He's the type of guy who would date people like Amber Heard. Right? He would date people like Eve.
At all familiar, it's because it's the same cocktail of mental illnesses that Amber Heard has. At which point I studied the condition at length, chiefly with a book called Stop Walking on Eggshells, the introduction for which says in so many words, run! And after she attempted to make good on her threat to murder...
You'll never be respected by me. That flew out the window, and I'll gladly slit your throat if you were ever off guard around me. Jesus Christ, what the fuck? Did he try to date the girl from was it the not Forgotten Realms? The fuck? I'll find a picture of it. Just give me 1 second.
Me, having already threatened to invent a panoply of lies about me to embarrass me in public, as you just heard her admit to over a phone call, I finally resolved to do exactly that. But even after finally extricating myself from this emotionally and physically abusive relationship, the threats of blackmail intensified and finally escalated to action. If you watch the Johnny Depp trial, you have some faint notion of what I dealt with for over a year. False accusations, which the accuser actually
I dare you to make any move on social media. Every tweet you make, every post on Instagram, yeah, every breath you take, every live stream you make, every cent you make, every cent you take, I'll be watching you. Fucking get off your ass. Seriously, you could probably beat this bitch, and she'd probably play the victim. Because you're dealing with BPD, right? Okay, so Facebook status, Matt story, screenshots. And they aren't good stories about, oh, so she blackmailed him. You fucking whore.
Bragged about inventing and spreading privately leaked recordings, absent context of any kind, where she suddenly puts on a Little Bo Peep voice and pretends she didn't initiate an argument entirely, often with preceding physical abuse. It's Johnny Depp and Amber Heard all over again, and a baffling number of leering retards took Amber Heard's side without once engaging in the aforementioned 30 seconds of research required to disprove them, all because they were felted by a fucking tweet!
No, it's because you ran when people asked you in confidence. They were legit. In some cases, some of them actually had the common courtesy to message you online via DMs. You blocked them instantly. That is why people are pissed off at you. That is why people are upset. That's why they didn't believe all women. It's because you ran away from this shit. Now, I've said before, and a lot of people have said this bitch should be crazy, and we don't know. But again, he's going to address it as well in this video.
I've seen screenshots of the Twitter hack that are now being bandied about as evidence of this. Problem being, my ex actually refuted those allegations herself in other screenshots, which I posted as proof. So
first off, we're not going to play the fucking, oh, I didn't hack that shit. I didn't hack it. you know what probably could have happened was she had an instance of the password. She could have gotten the password. She could have, had an instance on her personal phone, and she just used it, right? She could have locked him out. You don't know what she fucking could have done. So it depends on what you mean by hack, right? Especially now that we're, playing these weird fucking these weird word games, right? And we already know she's fucking cuckoo.
Either she was lying on the first occasion, or she was lying on the second. In any case, a proven and inveterate liar. But the blackmail did exist. And here again, on the subject of the entire underage narrative being nothing but a coordinated blackmail and smear campaign.
No, it's not coordinated. It's grass fucking roots. In fact, one could argue that it was grassroots, but it hasn't been healed. Time heals all wounds, but it's festered because you keep blocking people. I liked your content, but when you block people and it gets to the point where I can't even fucking send you a super chat, right? I want to give you fucking money. I've been watching your shit since you were, since pre-fucking Steven Crowder. That's how long, before you went on Steven Crowder, that's how long I've been watching you, okay? You won't even take my super chats. And I think to myself, what the fuck did I do to get blocked, right? A little bit of a parasocial relationship there, but what the fuck did I do? And I think to myself, what the fuck? What did I say? And I go back and I look through my tweets and I find out, oh, Kiwi Farm. Okay, fine, whatever. People have everyone who's famous has one. Who gives a fuck? It's like 60 Minutes, right? You're not a famous criminal unless you've been on 60 Minutes, as the boomers would say. So we go there, and like the Streisand effect, when you attracted away from people when they asked you shit in good faith, all you had to say is, hey, this bitch is crazy. I don't want to be around her. Done. And if he was scared of this, should have went to the fucking press, should have went to the police, should have gotten all the fucking crap. And I hope he does make us part 2. If he has the receipts, if he's doing the whole pro-Jared thing, good. Do it. But you need to understand, motherfucker, I don't think this bitch is crazy. I think she's lying. Like, I hate to be the guy that says this, unless she's physically fucking hurt him, right? Well, she might have hurt him, but even then, I don't know. It'll be interesting to see how this plays out.
Indeed, for an admission of the fact that all of my girlfriends, including her, were very much of age, I don't want you to believe me. I want you to believe her.
I haven't leaked anything. I haven't mentioned anything. I haven't messaged anyone. I haven't,
The word for that is blackmail. When you threaten to do it. And that was my entire point to begin with. This crap about me being a predator and a pedophile. How freaking...
Which, by the way, again, is he responding to this, like, recently? So she hasn't made any fucking accusations against him, right? She hasn't made any accusations against him and gone to the police. And that was true. So, again, this is just an example of crazy X. Crazy X acting crazy, right? But then they're talking like this, right? They're talking to each other, which just probably took place recently, actually, right? So then the question then becomes, why not just talk about it? Is he scared for his life, or is she talking? Are they working in? Again, we don't know. We're dealing with someone who's a fucking borderline.
Can dare you? My girlfriends have been my age or older.
I know.
But here's the hilarious part. It's all irrelevant. Not only did we prove the entire timeline's impossible without a flux capacitor and plutonium, not only did the abuser in question admit to death threats and blackmail, not only did they admit they were of age while publicly lying that they were not, but by the grace of God, I had only just begun to return to my faith at the beginning of this relationship. And so, after multiple live-in girlfriends and physical relationships, I finally felt the conviction to actually wait until marriage. I have no defense. I'm simply a sinner. Oh, I intended to marry her, at least the person she...
You attempted to marry a woman who's a stripper. I don't... press X to doubt, chat. Press X to doubt, because I don't fucking... I think a lot of this is just to cope. They're both horrible fucking people.
She was pretending to be through a BPD technique known as mirroring, wherein they ask a lot of questions.
A BPD technique. It's like the Kaioken, right? It's a new technique that Master Roshi will teach you.
And they seem really curious and interested in your life when, in actuality, they're assembling a composite personality of all of your likes and dislikes, which they then project back at you like some kind of mirror mask. A BPD abuser has no personality or empathy of their own, and they exploit yours.
Yeah, they're like fucking replicants from Blade Runner.
The victim of said manipulation is left to think they won the jackpot, at least initially. In my case, I thought I had a traditional Christian wife willing to wait until marriage, and then...
How did you think that this girl was a traditional Christian wife? Like, I'm looking at the bitch's fucking... Like, I don't know. Like, you thought you were trying to find a traditional wife, but Lady Fist is not actually this chick, right? So then who is this chick? Is it his ex, or is it somebody else? Were they dating at one point? Like, there's just a lot of things that I have questions about.
A month in, the mask started to slip, and she became openly abusive, both emotionally and physically. And so, for all the allegations of grooming and gooning, for all the dimwits and dipshits typing the words, "He slept with a child" in their thumbnails, not only was she of age by her own admission, I never proposed marriage, and thus we never slept together. But once again, I do not want...
Press X to doubt, chat.
You to take my word for it. Instead, I want you to do exactly what you've already been doing. I want you to take her word for it without any proof or research of your own of any kind.
If anybody were to come up to ask me and say, "Hey, how's Razor? How's living with Razor?" "Oh, he's a lying piece of shit."
Except that's not true.
Are you still a virgin? "Yeah, I'm still a virgin." "Oh, but I thought you lived with your boyfriend." "Nope, still a virgin."
Weirdest groomer ever! A relationship that requires a time-traveling DeLorean to actually occur, culminating in no...
Or just, assumptions that are not necessarily the norm.
No sex whatsoever, because we were both waiting until marriage. Saucy stuff, folks! I can see why you'd want to torpedo your entire YouTube career, attaching your credibility to it. But what about the most salacious allegation of all? The ones Blandy Worski and the Diabetosaurus next to him were shaking the talentless tits about for 20 minutes at a stretch, blissfully unaware it was the prologue to the end of their YouTube career. A decade-old, long-discredited screenshot from a porn website that no longer exists, featuring incorrect doxing information that's grainier than the Zapruder footage. By all means, let's dive into that. Because while you world-smashing web sleuths were spending all of 5 seconds repeating lies on an e-drama website whose own page includes a disclaimer that it is, quote, an online humor and satire source, and thus that you shouldn't take anything said therein even the slightest bit seriously, I did some digging of my own, and I didn't have to dig far. You see, the allegation is these videos are not only of me, but the proof is that I uploaded them myself. Now, as an author, I would say I have a fairly distinct authorial voice, marked by bizarre Victorian nomenclature interspersed with the odd peppering of profanity. So in doing some research, I discovered that the video in question was actually uploaded more than once by the...
Wow. Okay, let me just say this as somebody who has a little bit of more knowledge local, right? 602 is a fucking Phoenix number, right? Oh wow, this is a blast from the past. They literally are using, the fucking Vista.
Same original
Juno, really?
user on that porn website. And in examining the description of said video, I would imagine my unique grammatical style would be impossible to camouflage. So let's dig in. The first video, entitled Dinky Face / Carrot Head, self-deprecating sort that I am, goes on to say, quote, "I am that coward, capital C, who have nothing to do just to sit at my cam and review stupid games, capital G. This is the video of my jerking off, capitalized all." Oh, but now here's a curious cultural artifact for any actual Americans out there, because what follows is a phone number that's not only incorrect, but written not in the American, but the international phone number format.
I hate to be the guy that tells you this, the international fucking format, that is everywhere. You go to a corporation and you type into the phone number directory. You might get people from India that have this type of this one, and then the area code, and then the fucking number, right? You have that sometimes, especially on mobile. This is a common feature, so I'll throw that out unless there's something else you'd like to add.
Meaning with a plus sign, followed by a country code of 1 for America, followed by an unspaced, unhyphenated phone number thereafter, as we in the hinterland of Arizona are so inclined to do. Of course, I remember this video even better than that, because back in April 2011, the selfsame barely literate troll uploaded this false video to YouTube and linked it to my fans. See, back then, YouTube listed each and every one of your subscribers on your page publicly, so said troll was able to scroll down the list and DM it to them at whim. Some of you rageaholics may still remember this. And so in April of 2011, I shut my channel down only briefly in order to protect my own fans from being spammed by this spurg, as there was no other way to hide my public subscribers. If you're wondering, by the way, why my channel was founded in May of 2009, but none of my videos date to before April of 2011,
there are many reasons why there could be how should we say it, error with the dates. One would be the fact that you're being censored, so you have to re-upload. Like, I've had things that have been censored, like, that I've made way back when I still had Luke on this channel, and I still had Sako even in that regard. I've re-uploaded them, but at the same time, the dates are off, right? So I could have done it on a Saturday, and I'll be talking about what's happening on a Saturday, and I re-uploaded it on a Friday because I found out just by YouTube telling me later on fucking Thursday that my stuff got freaking popped for copyright, let's say, or content, right? There are many reasons why you'd re-upload. So don't know what he's trying to get across here, but again, sue Eve. Don't go after the people who are commenting about the stuff that you did.
Mystery solved! I had to re-upload them all. Mind you, the video was promptly removed, but the account was still up long enough that I did nab a screenshot of some of the reactions at the time. And it's in combing over the account in question that we see more sterling examples of my writing style. Quote, "I'm Daniel Razorbutt. Some know me as Donkey Face, Carrot Head, Dumb Shit, and ... But I prefer Jerkaholic."
I like Raz0rFap personally, and by the way, I actually think that Raz0rFap is I don't even think this is the original fucking site. I think this is like you said, it was re-uploaded, and this is one of the problems of putting shit online, especially if you did jerk off, right? And again, no one cares about you jerking off. They just think that, hey, if a guy who jerks off and he's grooming a fucking 15-year-old, which again, I don't know when that was the case. I don't know. For all I know, they both were full of shit. I don't know. All I know is that oh boy. I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah, I do believe you cracked the case of my illicit gay porn career, Columbo. You should roll with this narrative without doing any research whatsoever because you're cranky about a tweet. In fact, you should attach the final remaining micrograms of credibility you still possess on your person to push in this piss-poor nonsense and accomplish precisely nothing in the process but utterly embarrassing yourself being caught, once again, lying about strangers on the internet. But we expect laziness and libel from these cum-burping bitches. No one whatsoever surprised when Glandy Warski peers out from the coke cloud, flanked by an anonymous autistic asteroid who, if chins were brains, would rule the fucking world, pauses momentarily to comb an e-drama website that openly admits to lying its dick off from dawn to damn dusk, all to tank the remaining relevance of the Diabeto Casino. And as for Gash JT, the fart huffing hack who honestly confuses himself with an independent journalist, such that he's still spurging about stolen scoops that if his character in this instance is any indication, he likely stole from someone else. Also, he could slap white text on a wildly original thumbnail and express socially acceptable opinions on the 8 entire members of his imbecilic audience. Ah, well, what you lack in talent, you make up for in chromosomes. Look at the bright side, bud. I've ended bigger careers of infinitely more talented individuals in a 5-minute rant. You only took me 30 seconds. Walk it off, asshole. I hear they're hiring at IKEA. And the receipts you've heard today are only the tip of the scheissberg. I'm holding the real goodies back just in case a crazy person decides to be the latest Me Too accuser to lose in court. But publicly, outside of a courtroom, this is the first and last word I have said about this easily debunked bullshit. On with the rants.
God fucking speed. God fucking speed, my friend. Because you're gonna need it. And I'll tell you, you should never fucking reply to any of this shit. You never should have replied. But going back to what he said about the crazy Latina and the shit that she says, what really got me, let's see, here we go.
Very nice. Okay.
At Oli.
You think that I cannot hurt you without the power of social media?
What?
Because I promise you I can. I have a bunch of shit that'll hurt you.
Okay, nice. Another threat. Very nice.
I'm just telling you the cold hard facts. I am aware of a bunch of shit that'll hurt your feelings. So, what the fuck do I need social media for if I want to hurt your feelings and make you hurt?
She reminds me of the Carmelia, or whatever the fuck her name is, from fucking Pathfinder Wrath of the Righteous. She really comes off like that chaotic fucking evil character that you would have to be fucking evil, right, to fucking pursue. Like, because some of the shit that she does, right, in that freaking game, you could say, okay, whatever, you do evil, you do this, whatever. It was for the greater good. And then there comes a certain point where, like, this woman is evil. You either kill her or you fucking, but you can't deny that she's fucking evil. All right. That's what I think is going on. And I'm wondering to myself, what type of man would pursue this type of woman? He either is incredibly shallow, which is very possible, or he is just as degenerate and bad as him, which I'm, 50-50. Let's see what happens. What else we got here? So, here we go. More stuff to talk about. Okay, but first, finally, update on tonight's Unsolved Mystery. We're going to find out who gives a shit about a Moldovan that threatened to kill Donald Trump. Update, apparently the guy who killed Donald Trump was also follow the Order of the 9 Angles, right? The Order of the 9 Angles and the rest of them, right? Fucking the cultists and shit. Here we go. We'll let Brain figure this shit out. The Navigator. Here you go, buddy. Here we go, and generate for me, baby.
A Wisconsin teenager accused of murdering his parents followed a neo-Nazi cult and hoped to further a plot to overthrow the U.S. government, including killing President Donald Trump, prosecutors say. Nikita Kasap, 17, is accused of killing his mother Tatiana Kasap and his stepfather Donald Mayer in their Waukesha home on February 11th, according to the criminal complaint filed against him last month. He now faces 9 charges, including murder, hiding a corpse, and identity theft. Prosecutors say they've linked Kasap to the Order of Nine Angles, a neo-Nazi group that originated in the UK. The organization is considered a satanic cult by the FBI with strong anti-Judaism, anti-Christian, and anti-Western ideologies. The group dates its calendar from the birth of Nazi leader Adolf Hitler and believes in creating a new world order which emphasizes social Darwinism, Satanism, and fascism, the BBC reports.
The Big Black Cock news reports. Well, if that wasn't fun enough, here you go. Here comes the real fucking data on this sucker. Here we go. Play.
A February 28, 2025 welfare check at a suburban home in Waukesha, Wisconsin, uncovered a gruesome crime. Inside lay the badly decomposed bodies of Tatiana Kasap, 35, and Donald Mayer, 51. Both had been shot to death. 17-year-old Nikita, Tatiana's son, and Donald's stepson, and Toby, the family dog, were missing.
Oh, fuck, they
Now
even killed
charged
the
with
dog.
their murders, Nikita apparently lived with his parents' bodies for almost 2 weeks before fleeing with their car, cash, and jewelry. After running a stop sign, he was arrested on March 1st in Wignat, Kansas. From Moldova to the Midwest, mother and son were originally from Moldova, a small Eastern European country and former Soviet republic that lies between Romania and Ukraine. Though it's unclear when Tatiana and Nikita immigrated to the U.S., Tatiana and Donald were reportedly married for 9 years. Family life in Wisconsin appeared normal. Nikita had told a friend that he had a good childhood. He had perfect attendance at Waukesha West High School. Neighbors noticed nothing amiss. Investigators found messages showing pre-murder communications in Russian through Telegram about fleeing to Ukraine. In one message, Nikita asked, "So while in Ukraine, will I be able to live a normal life, even when it's found out I did it?" On February 8th, just 3 days before the murders, his phone showed messages about money he was receiving, hinting at pre-planned financial support. This same friend also said Kasap discussed communicating with a Russian man about conspiring to overthrow the U.S. government and assassinate President Trump. Premeditation, not impulse research, consistently shows most teen parricides are carefully planned rather than impulsive acts, a pattern clearly demonstrated in the Nikita Kasap case, where evidence reveals weeks of preparation, including statements to classmates, acquisition of the murder weapon, and coordination with Russian contacts for his escape.
Look at these two people. Look at how small the woman is. Look how big the boy is. Look how these are apparently. This is his parent. This is Nikita and his parents. 17-year-old who's accused. Now I'll tell you this: if he's 17, I don't know about you, but this guy. He's allegedly came from Moldova. Now, I don't know about you, but Moldova is a fucking Russian-controlled province of... I don't even want to say... It's one of those satellite states that was basically set up to get to ghettoize fucking Eastern Europe or control certain parts of it. It was another cordon sanitaire, if you will. Let's see what we got here. Alrighty. Let's continue.
A Waukesha West classmate told investigators that weeks before the murders, Nikita explicitly mentioned he was planning to kill his parents, and according to the prosecutor, said she would regret it if she told anyone. She interpreted this as a threat. She also said that he was suicidal and, at least once, stated he would murder his parents beforehand in order not to subject them to his own death. Photos taken on January 28th, 2 weeks before the murders, show Nikita holding the Smith & Wesson .357 Magnum later used in the killings. After the February 11th murders, Nikita's methodical behavior continued. He submitted schoolwork electronically the next day and used his parents' phones to send messages to his stepfather's family and manager. By February 23rd, he had gathered nearly $14,000 in cash, approximately 70 pieces of his mother's jewelry, and his parents' financial cards before fleeing in his stepfather's vehicle.
So, not only do we have, 4chan getting popped, and then we have this Razorfish shit drama, right? And now we have an actual fucking satanic cult attacking fucking President, or allegedly attacking President Trump. And to top it all off, they're fucking from the former Soviet Republic of Moldova. What a fucking wonderful place. And, the world's going down, the world's on fire, but that's the way I like it, because we never get bored. Here we go. This bitch, this chick right here, oh my god, she passed, the bitch again, this chick, if you don't know who this chick is, I'll let old Bob explain it to you. This is why we have this is why I love this about text-to-speech. Take it away, Bob.
Help me protect my family. Hello, my name is Shiloh, and I have been put into a very dire situation. I recently had a kid steal from my 18-month-old son's diaper bag at a park. I called the kid out for what he was. Another man who we recently found out has had a history with law enforcement.
What he was. Let's find out, what did she actually call him? Like, just for the fucking record. Right? What did she call him? Let's see if I have it right here. I'll go here. Boom. What did she say to him?
You call him a nigger?
Oh, whoa. Okay. All right.
The child?
The fuck you talking
Did you
about?
call the child the nigger word?
None of your fucking business.
It is my own business. You call him a nigger?
Okay. Between the bottled blonde, the fucking mom, which again, let's just say that that's working, right? We'll give her the benefit of the doubt. The tattoos don't help her case.
Okay, why don't you have the boss to say it right now again?
Fuck you, nigger.
Okay.
Nigger.
All right, that's what you say.
That's what you say.
You don't go digging through people's shit, you dumb fuck.
Nobody digging into your shit.
A little fucking kid just did, you dumbass.
That little kid, you call him a nigger?
Yeah.
That little child?
What if he acts like one, he's gonna...
Are you about to hit him? You chase him here?
He took my son's stuff.
So that gives you the right to call the child, 5-year-old, a nigger, the N-word?
Yes, no. As Beckloff would say, the First Amendment fucking gives her the right.
If that's what he's gonna act
That's
like.
what you're gonna call him.
That's what he's gonna act like.
That's a hate speech. And
That's a hate speech. Sir, that's a hate speech.
You can be recorded for that.
I don't give a shit.
Huh.
Fuck off.
Okay, we'll see about that, what the internet has to say about you. You call him a...
That's a hate speech. That's a keeper. That's a fucking soldier. But yeah, apparently the bitch is she originally tried to go for like, I think, $10,000. She's already made what? 200 she's already raised roughly almost $200,000. Why? Well, let Bob tell us.
Proceeded to record me and follow me to my car. He then posted these videos online, which has caused my family and myself great turmoil. My SSN has been leaked. My address and phone number have been given out freely. My family members are being attacked. My eldest child may not be going back to school. Even where I exercise has been exposed. I am asking for your help to assist in protecting my family. I fear that we must relocate. I have 2 small children who do not deserve this. We have been threatened to the extreme by people online. Anything will help. We cannot and will not live in fear. Thank you.
SJW or Wignat? Now, I'll tell you this right the fuck now. I think, maybe it's just me, but I do not like the fucking, the trashy fucking phone case. The pink and the gold, like the rose gold, just doesn't, it doesn't look good. It's not a good look, gotta admit. But you know, the one thing that really got me, and this is going back to Radx, right? Which, by the way, if you want to give to this chicks thing, you can. I don't really care. There are a lot of people who are doing it unironically, and there are a lot of people out there who are doing it because they legitimately want to protect the white girl, right? I'm of the opinion that this is this is stupid. This is identity politics, and given the fact that this person has been doxxed, okay? Like I type in this girl's name into fucking it's not even Instagram. I type her name into freaking Google image, and I go to Google Images to see like images of it. I see her fucking I see a thumbnail for a TikTok video that's like viral, right? So it's all viral, and Google fucking shows this woman's fucking address. I don't know if it's coordinated or what, but I have a feeling it is coordinated. And I'm not the only one who thinks this. Now, Reddick, she can speak for herself. I like her fucking work a lot. But what she got was correct. What I find fascinating is the fundraisers for the J6ers didn't raise this much, is this fast. People who spend years in jail, have convictions and hit pieces and are still suffering, don't get this much support. Political prisoners like the Whitmer Fednapping hoax guys wouldn't be able to raise this much money to hire private lawyers and are stuck with public defenders. This is actually a big problem. And I'll tell you, it just doesn't seem right to me. It doesn't seem right to me that, you know, again, I checked this back and I want to say 2 o'clock today, it was like 20,000, right? Now it's at 200,000. And I don't think it's stopped. I don't know if they shut it down, people are going to get really fucking pissed off because she did nothing wrong. The kid supposedly stole from her, right? And she called him probably in the middle of probably in the heat of the moment, to be honest. But at the same time, she ain't going to be fucking shamed. People are sick of this crap. They're sick of it. And I'll tell you this right the fuck now. Apparently the guy who made the video of you calling her out for her naughty word, her magical word, her white girl magic, because let's call it what it is. It's white girl magic, and it works very good. It also depends on the context, the N-word in the context. If she starts screaming, oh, nigga, 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 she getting fucked by a black guy, right? You could very well, you could say that's fine, right? But any other time, oh, she said to a poor little, allegedly autistic Somali kid. The guy's a Somali, right? I really don't think this guy, I don't really think the kid is autistic. I don't think that's the case. I really don't. I do believe the kid might be low IQ, perhaps, but I don't think he's autistic. Because autism is not an excuse to be a dick, and you don't want to be the guy who excuses dick behavior at a very early age. You want to correct that shit right then and there, right? And she's not, and for the record, she's not exactly, you know, putting on a good fucking, she's not being a good adult, let's say. But at the same time, what's he doing there? Because apparently the Somali dad, allegedly, is a sex offender, right? So this, again, like the Razorfish drama, and I think as Armored Ghost said before, the Rogue drama, and we might have to rebrand the Digital Renegade Podcast into Rogue drama when this shit comes out, because I wasn't planning on streaming tonight. I really wasn't. And, you know, there are more and more things that have lured me out. I've been summoned, you know, to do battle and combat and glorious fucking combat. But yeah, you know, we'll see where this goes. Because I'll tell you this, she's going to be on Tucker Carlson. I guarantee fucking to you. You could put money on that. She will be on Tucker Carlson.
Nigger, the child?
The fuck you talking
Did you
about?
call the child the nigger word?
None of your fucking business.
It is my own business. You call him a nigger? Okay.
Yeah. That's what it is. It's baby talk. The fact checkers. And again, they doxed her. They doxed this bitch. And I'll tell you this, you don't dox people. You know what you do? This is a learning moment for the black kid as well as everyone. You be the bigger man and say, that woman had no right to do it, but you had no right to be in that person's fucking purse. And you needed to teach him right from wrong. You both are acting like fucking children, and I have to be the fucking adult in the room. But again, this is not okay. This is not okay. And there are even people out there, I think it was Royce Lopez and Mersh, they were even saying, I say that word all the time, and why is she getting paid all this much money? Well, she got doxxed to the point where if you Google this person's name, we might do this live. Let's do it live, right? What do we have here? Sandra Hinnix. And wow. One click. Huh. They must have cleaned it up. Good thing. Good. That's good. Because I'll tell you this, there was a time when I checked it on my fucking end, there were thumbnails with her fucking docs in it. And this person has been doxxed, okay? I mean, at this point, we already know her name, right? And at this point, it's about protecting the kids. Because I'll tell you this, the mom did this to herself. Now, should she been say that to the kid? No, absolutely not. She should have been a bigger kid and said, hey, hands off, right? I don't know. This shit is not exactly, you know, the world's, it's not black and white. People fucking destroyed her life, and, you know, at the same time, she shouldn't have had her life destroyed. I don't know. Maybe I'm just getting more and more cynical and jaded as I fucking age. Razor drama. Maybe. I don't know who Gabe Hoffman is, but, you know, I'll have to look into that. Because if they're going after him, I hope to God that they fucking do go after him. Because, you know, there is a certain point where you can't make accusations against people. But even then, if you don't fucking come forward, right, and you don't address any of them, even if you just say, oh, it's bullshit, I don't want to talk about it. That's all you have to say. But you block people. That's stupid. And he's going to play it's a coordinated effort. It's not a coordinated effort. It really isn't. Unless, of course, she did it, but I'm not part of that shit. I'm literally just a guy who's like, oh, okay, this guy's an asshole, and I don't want to watch him anymore. I used to be a fan of him way back before Crowder, right? And, you know, he does stupid shit. I think he's innocent of the accusations, but he's still a dick. So, pimps and whores, buyers and sellers. Anyhow, ladies and gentlemen, be good to one another, take care of one another. Remember, saving the West is a side quest. This is the Digital Renegade Podcast.